What we often try and do when we're delving away in interesting old English word, by the way, delve means digging basically. But anyway, we're delving into the past to sort of give life, to give voice to those that have gone before. There's sort of a sense of loss in the landscape in the past, and to show our own places in a long line of striving and stewardship of the land and all that sort of stuff. It poses a number of dilemmas when you do this, because it's nearly always either a regional thing, a national thing, or a transnational thing, but it's hardly ever a universal thing. This obsession with the past. So it's Wessex now. I could talk about the Wessex, and that is causing ructions within university circles. Is it meaningful to talk about Wessex as anything other than sort of a period between 500 AD and 1066? Does it have any meaning? We sort of mix up our sort of past ideology, our sense of the ancient, but it's also very much about England and Britain and what those concepts mean, and by extension it sort of rejects those outside. It can have a notion of rejecting those outside, but the liberal perspective is not to reject. You'll see loads of liberal archaeologists, totally liberal, but absolutely obsessed with Anglo-Saxon burial practices. But if you speak English, if you're interested in the English language and where the language came from, you're entitled to know a bit about England. You're entitled to do whatever, to engage. It's you're not rejected from it. But there's a sense that this is all about, like, creating myths of nationhood and all that sort of stuff, and it needs to be. That causes its own dilemma, and we need to be cautious around it. But also, likewise, sort of transnational, a European idea also rejects those outside Europe. Can, but it shouldn't. Taking pride in where you come from doesn't have to exclude others. And obviously, if you're interested, you're welcome. So, and anyway, if you speak English, no matter where you come from around the world, it's yours. It belongs to you. It does carry baggage, but it doesn't have to be the sort of baggage that restricts you or excludes you or holds you back. But anyway, onwards and upwards. This is the River Allen, which is a major boundary. I think it's a county boundary actually, but. But it's part of our boundary for this parish. Well, I never. This is either medieval, post-medieval bridge. It's at least, I'd say, 300, 400 years old, and it's quite lovely. It's a nice surprise. We're slightly off because footpaths are don't necessarily go the same. You know, I can't just go wading across the countryside. So the boundary we were following came down here up the river. The river we were on before, which I described as the Alum, is in fact it was the River Brew. I got that wrong, but the Alum, the mouth of the Alum, which is part of the boundary markers, is down here. And that is one of the markers to come up this up the Alum here, and past us up the river this way. See, there's nationalistic ideas in the landscape. For example, the oak. There are at least two stories I know of about the oak, which talk about kingship, and therefore we're touching on the sort of divine right of authoritarian. Not necessarily. What's the word? Putting power into the idea of an individual at the top of a pyramid that makes up the nation. And and it's easy. I mean, we wear the oak leaf on. Some of us wear the oak leaf on their poppy on Remembrance Day, and what it does is make that mental link between the sacrifice of the people and nationhood. And royalty. So there aren't really many, there's not many egalitarian symbols in the landscape. The one I often talk about is the Neolithic tomb, the sort of orange section style confederation of mini states that we seem to get with the Neolithic. But there's not a lot that's egalitarian about the ancient past. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you for subscribing and commenting, etc. Ta-da for now.